a lot of music, right?
See how you
As long as you pay attention to the vehicles around you.
Hi.
Bye.
Hello, my name's Maria Galapi and I work with the Ontario Provincial Police Healthy Workplace team. My role within the team is a care navigator for the East. Our team consists of care navigators, psychologists, mental health clinicians. We also have our own peer support team, which is peer supporting peers. On top of that, we also have physical health supports, which can assist our members with education on physical aspects of training, nutrition, whatever the case may be. We also have chaplains within our organization if members struggling with something and it maybe could be faith-based or non-denominational faith, we can have access to that as well. Our team also works with internal and external supports. So for our internal supports, as I mentioned, our mental health clinicians, as care navigator, a little bit about my role is we are the first point of contact for supports, and we're not just available to just our active civilian and uniform members. We're also available for their families, auxiliaries, retirees. So we're basically available to anybody that needs anything within our organization and outside of it per se. As one of the biggest challenges, as we know, is our officers and some of our civilians also have very difficult jobs, and we want to make it as simple as possible for them to get the resources when they need them, as timely as we can. So within our organization, we have this healthy workplace team, which allows us exactly that. So as a care navigator, my biggest role is to connect members and their families, auxiliaries, as I mentioned, and retirees with getting them connected with counseling services, maybe helping them through the difficult, HR processes such as WSIB and LTIP, which also sometimes can be very overwhelming when they're struggling with that. We do the legwork in getting them connected with the mental health clinicians as required. So our own clinicians do not take on caseloads, but we will assist in getting them connected with a clinician outside of our organization. And we do the legwork in the sense of I will do the reach outs to the clinicians to make sure that they have availability, make sure that they're covered under our benefits. So that's one big role that we do, which really helps our officers to be able to reach out and get the help. We also have our external resources, which is we have Encompass, which is partnered up with our OPPA, and basically they too have the ability to assist us in getting connected with clinicians, mental health clinicians. They can assist in residential treatments, assessments. So lots and lots of resources there. We also have our Employee Family Assistance Program, which is also available to our unclassified members, and they too will assist with some counseling. They're available for financial advice, nutrition. Basically, it's the number to call and see what we can do to assist you. We have a 24-hour phone number, our 844 number as we call it, and we also have an OPP health email so that we make it as easy as can be for officers and their families to reach out to us and get the help that they need. And we will basically help them, guide them through. One important thing to mention is that all of our services are completely confidential. So as we know, unfortunately, we still have a little bit of a stigma out there, so it makes them very comfortable to know that what is discussed between myself and a family member or an officer remains between just us. It's a complete conversation, and they will get the help they need without being feared that that information might get out. Our peer support team, it's basically peers helping peers, may it be workplace or family-based. And I mean, who better to know you than the person who works alongside to you? So we also have external partnerships such as Badge of Life, Boots on the Ground, OPP Beyond the Blue. These are all peer supports that can assist officers understanding the role, but it's also programs that are able to assist spouses and children of these officers. So there's lots and lots of resources out there for our officers within and for their families. And also, just on another note, is we do have our MCERT nurses, as we call them, that work at detachments in there as mobile crisis response team, which do go out with our officers to assist members in the community at calls where they may be having some mental health challenges, and they'll be able to assist our officers in getting them the best treatment they can get them and making the decision at that point.
Keep going, you're doing great! I love that.
These are in.
Yes. You.
You surprised us. Go ahead. Good job.
Please don't get run over. Be careful.
The Canal Pursuit for Mental Health has come into Merrickville and left again. The runners were really quick today, and so Deirdre made it in from Kilmarnock and handed the flag off to Bob. Bob is on his way over to Burritts Rapids, and we'll catch up with him in a little while. After we talk with some pretty special guests, we have the Legion represented here, the township,
the
mayor, and
Lanark Legion, Grenville Addictions and Mental Health.
Yeah, I think maybe the best thing to do is let each of you introduce yourselves and who are you and what do you do?
Yes.
And yeah, anything you've got to say.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. I'm Mayor Michael Cameron, Merrickville Wolford, and I'm honored today to be part of this Canal Pursuit. We were filled in a bit of the background. It's been started in 2015, I believe, and Clay has run the first 2 years by himself and realized that there was a greater need, so he's grown this conversation and brought in other partners to help him run the long distance, I believe is 780 kilometers, in along the Trent Severn system and along the Rideau Canal and eventually going into Parliament Hill. And I just congratulate him and thanked him for his efforts and his contribution, and concur with growing the opportunity and bringing more voices into this mental health situation we find ourselves in, especially through the military and our first responders, through paramedics, fire, and police. You know, it's something that these folks deal with on a daily basis. We put them at the front line of a lot of situations that many of us would run from. So, you know, I think it's something that is absolutely necessary that, you know, these conversations continue and grow. And once again, thank you very much for bringing the attention to this. So, and, you know, a lot of individuals in the community also suffer silently. You know, people you pass by daily on the streets, you know, you wouldn't know are suffering. So I think it's something that we have to bring relevance to and shine the spotlight on and make people feel comfortable to have that conversation. And I do thank you, and I'll turn the conversation over to the Legion.
Hi, I'm Lee Horning, and I'm president of the branch. And I'd like just to echo what Mike has said, and the community needs to stand behind this all the way.
I'm Rose Lamingman. I'm first vice president of the Merrickville Legion and also the Poppy chair.
All right.
I'm Robin Carrier. I'm secretary of the Legion, and I think it's a great Canal Pursuit what you're doing, and thank you for coming.
I'm Roger Haley, and today I'm wearing the hat of the chairperson of the Board of Directors for Lanark, Leeds and Grenville Addictions and Mental Health. And years past, in another life, I worked in nursing at the Rockwell Psychiatric Hospital.
Oh, okay.
So I had a little bit of a passion for mental health services and all the great things that Clay and his team are doing. And I'm truly honored to be here and meet with you today, Clay, and thank Mayor Cameron for the invitation. And they're all right. I mean, we have to keep the conversation going, and we can't stop. And Clay's already mentioned there's a lot of holes in the system. And being on the board of directors, I can see those holes and the struggles that we have with funding from government, all government levels, to keep those services and the equipment and everything else going. So again, thank you so much, Clay, for what you're doing, and we'll keep. We've all been touched by someone who has mental illness, and certainly the focus this year on the first responders and the military is a great asset to the program. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate the support.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Keeps me. This kind of support keeps me going.
Thank you very much.
Year after year. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, good stuff.
In 1845, a mounted police service was created to keep the peace in areas surrounding the construction of public works. It became the Ontario Mounted Police Force after Canadian Federation in 1867. In 1877, the Constables Act extended jurisdiction and gave designated police members authorization to act throughout the province. The first salaried provincial constable appointed to act as detective for the Government of Ontario was John Wilson Murray, hired on a temporary appointment in 1875 and made permanent upon passage of the 1877 Act. Murray was joined by 2 additional detectives in 1897, marking the beginnings of the Criminal Investigation Branch. However, for the most part, policing outside of Ontario's cities was non-existent. With the discovery of silver in Cobalt, Ontario, and gold in Timmins, Ontario, lawlessness was increasingly becoming a problem in Northern Ontario. Police constables were gradually introduced in various areas until the establishment of a permanent organization of salaried constable, designated as the Ontario Provincial Police Force in October 1909. It consisted of 45 men with a starting salary for constables of $400 per year, increased to $900 in 1912. There were many detachments simultaneously founded, including Bala, Muskoka, and Niagara Falls. In the 1920s, restructuring was undertaken, and the newly named commissioner was given responsibility for enforcing the Ontario Temperance Act and other liquor regulations. The OPP's first death in the line of duty occurred in 1923 when escaped convict Leo Rogers shot and killed Sergeant John Urquhart near North Base. Rogers was later killed in a shootout with OPP officers. The first OPP motorcycle patrol was introduced in 1928, phased out in 1942, and then reintroduced in 1949. The first marked OPP patrol car was introduced in 1941. Women joined the uniformed ranks of the OPP in 1974. In 1994, as part of a tripartite agreement between the Government of Canada, the Province of Ontario, and the Anishinaabe Nation, the OPP began the process of relinquishing a majority of northern policing duties to the newly created Anishinaabe Police Service. The transition was completed on April 1st, 1999. The Ontario Provincial Police provide policing services to areas of Ontario not policed by a regional or municipal police service. Some detachments also host satellite detachments that provide policing to a local area covering more than 1 million square kilometers, approximately 128,000 kilometers of provincial highway, and a population of over 14 million people. Today, we salute all those who are serving and have served with the Ontario Provincial Police. Thank you.